Sure.
One of the reasons we chose the organizations we did is because we have a relationship with them. We didn't go out and solicit, so we felt comfortable that both organizations, whether Family Promise chose to or not, or Mono could, we have worked with them. They have been in the building. We know their work. We know they're a valid organization that is moving forward to help people. We didn't have someone cobble together an organization for the purpose of grabbing the building so they could sell it for condos. So it is a leap of faith. There's a certain amount of trust there, but it's with people we have a relationship with.
And how long has Mono been working with us? How many years?
14.
Yeah. So
14 years experience.
So you can see this, it's been a stable organization for many years, and actually purchasing this property is going to assist them greatly with their organizational goals.
Oh, and how much of the money, if the sales go through, who determines where it goes, how much goes to who?
Technically, the council will decide, but like all decisions we've made so far, it will involve the congregation. Currently, Margot is making a list of organizations that the Senate and organizations we work with are options. We're going to probably have a meeting this fall, and where people can bring forward who, if there's an organization near and dear to your heart that needs some of the money. We do want it to go to organizations organizations, not even people, organizations that will continue community work. On the broader picture, we're looking at Lutheran World Relief. On a more local scale, we're looking at Family Promise, trying to figure out how to do Washington Elementary without giving money to the school district. We've got Union Gospel Mission. We've got some ideas, and we will be soliciting more because it's the congregation's money, and we're going to look at how we want to distribute it in a way that kind of honors the mission that has been the mission of the church.
Thank you. So, when you decide where that money goes, will that be reported to the congregation, so we know who gets the money and what they do with it?
Absolutely, we'll report it. We've been trying to be open, transparent all the way along. There will be a list. We'll probably do it in 2 parts because we'll have large chunks that'll go someplace and smaller ones that will be distributed. So looking at how that will go out is a lot of what the council is doing now.
I should mention that there is a procedure upon the dissolution of our congregation, dissolution of any nonprofit. We have to first go to the Oregon Department of Justice with a list of where we want to disperse these monies. To what groups do we want to disperse it? It has to be to the penny the dollars that we receive. They then approve that list, and we then make the disbursement and prove that back into the Department of Justice that we made those disbursements. And that's supposed to be done upon the dissolution of the congregation.
And those are public records, so they want to make sure that the council doesn't just decide to pay off all our own mortgages and leave the nonprofits high and dry.
I think I can make it here. That's at the time that the congregation resolves. I noticed that it says here that it is the intent for the sale to be used for specific purposes and not to support the operation of our congregation. Does that preclude if in the time next 2 years we need to dip into those funds? Can we?
No, I don't believe so.
Because that might change the way some of us feel about voting.
Because Steve wrote this so nasty.
The sales proceeds disbursement needs to be approved by the Department of Justice. I think and I can go back to it, but I think we could use some of those funds if necessary, if we wanted to continue for 2 years. Of course, the vast majority of it would have to be dispersed on dissolution. And a number of us are very concerned. I mean, we're not going to have a pastor after February. Is it February?
It's February. His contract is.
Yeah, unless we continue on. All right.
It is very important that you make these big decisions without thinking about me, okay? So don't connect me to these big decisions. I'm currently on a 1-year contract that ends in February. I would be willing to stay until the end of May if it would be beneficial for you to have some more time with me. But make your decisions apart from me. Is that clear? Or is that clear?
And that is part of the discussions we'll have separate from this one is how long we'll be going, when we'll be closing, how long we'll be able to keep a pastor to help us through the transition, both as a congregation and individually. You got 2 people behind you, Steve. You don't get to sit yet.
The notation about the disbursement of funds is not included in the resolution. It's included in the notes about the sale of the building, and it says the intent.
It is in the resolution.
Where?
The second, be it further resolved. Yeah.
It doesn't,
Also, keep in mind that we are losing several thousand a month, but we still have a big enough balance in our accounts, and that's if we start pulling all emergency funds and everything, that we could probably go quite a while without touching these funds. Lauren again.
Does this then put us using the sanctuary and the vestry? Because those, small rooms are probably not important to them, but very important to our service.
That is the part that we definitely will be able to use for the time mentioned here.
So that would be included as part of the sanctuary.
Oh, the vestry,
I believe what we negotiated was at least an office space, sanctuary, at least an office space, and other things that are reasonable for us to use. And I can't imagine mano is going to be any issue our continued use of the vestry.
Karen again.
back to that intent, could we just strike that particular sentence and all proceeds profits and not for regular operating expenses until we're at the point of resolution?
So what I love about that resolution is the word "our intent." It does not say, we promise cross our hearts, this is exactly what's going to happen. It says, right now, this is what we plan to do with the money. That's my understanding of the word intent. Tomorrow, there is a big flood, and half of our homes are washed away. We might need to use those funds for something we weren't intending for the survival of this group of people. That's a very poor example. That's all I came up with on the spot, okay? So let's think of the word intent as leaving a door open for another use if we need it.
Brian?
I'm just going to speak to that. Right now, we have nearly $200,000 in bank accounts that we can use for operating expenses. So if this body did not give another dime in donations, we would start going through that $200,000 And at the end of that, whether it coincides with February or May, we would be done financially. Hopefully, you all continue to support this church during our months of contemplation and closure. So this money is not included in that $200,000 we have in various bank accounts that we can use for operating expense.
Did everybody hear that? Okay, then I won't repeat it.
And I want to just clarify as best I can. What the Oregon Department of Justice requires is that upon the dissolution of a nonprofit corporation, it has to account for its remaining assets. It has to tell the Department of Justice, here are our remaining assets. In our case, it would be cash at that point. And here's who we intend to disperse them to. They approve that disbursement or not, tell us no, you need to find somebody else. And then we account back to the Department of Justice with the facts, who we dispersed that to, that we actually followed up and did it that we said we were going to do. It does not, we have the ability to sell the church, use some of that money if absolutely necessary. But again, it's our intent to try to save that, because that's our legacy. Our legacy, besides all the work we've done since 1950 in this neighborhood, is how we disperse, who we disperse this money for generations to use in the future.
So I'm just trying to get a picture of how this money goes out. So let's say we make the sale and it's completed in December, but we continue on for 2 more years. So can we just start dispersing that money during the 2 years? Or do we have to wait till the church is completely closed down before that? Is that money just sitting there waiting for us to?
No, because until
Can we continue, can we make decisions?
while we are an operating corporation, we can spend the money in accordance with our own bylaws on how we spend the money. It's upon the dissolution that those funds will go out, and that's why I said it's kind of 2 pots, because we can say, we want to give a couple $1,000s to Union Gospel Mission. DOJ is really not interested in $2,000, especially if it's going to, we often give money to them every December anyway. It's part of our general operations. It's only at the end, when you have a pot of money and you no longer have a corporation, what are you going to do with the money?
Right. So we would get that money, but we would wait to make large distributions until we dissolve the church. Or can we make that any time?
Well, that's part of the discussion. We aren't
Okay.
actually having.
That's a different discussion.
Yes, that's a different discussion. Okay. If there are no more, if there's no more discussion, shall we vote? Brian's going to give point order. Oh, do you need a pen?
Does anyone need a pen or pencil?
I do, actually.
Raise your hand and we have someone who will bring around something. No, it can be a pencil, as long as we can let you see what you want.
Who do we have coming around to pick up ballots? Did we assign anyone to vote? I need to count vote. Because Margot's not here. Margot's not here. So, Kathy, are you willing to count? Are you okay to count ballots as secretary? Oh, Caleb? I'll work on the second person. I'm thinking Caleb might be a good second person,
That's fine.
unless he's tired of me volunteering him for
That's, I
things.
can count.
I know he's tired of his dad volunteering him for things, but I'm special, right?
Caleb?
Or even better, Emmanuel could count them because he's not even part.
Anyone have any remaining ballots you have not
I
turned
think
in?
I think you got it. Okay, so while we're
One
counting,
more.
we missed one. Everyone got their ballot in? Except for you done so far? We're good. We got you. So while we are counting the ballots, let's talk about the green sheets. I think that's what he wanted me to do. The green sheets, we've talked about this many, many times about the disposition of the personal property. And I've said it over and over again, other people have said, we're not gonna just strip the church. And so Brian's put together a sheet because he's been collecting the information. If there's something here that you would like to have, you write it down. Well, we made it easy for you. We've given you a form to fill out if you don't want to try to remember to email or, write something on an envelope and hope Brian doesn't lose it. If you give it to me, I'll definitely lose it. And he's also put at the bottom things that are included in the sale, which disappoints me because I really could use a new folding table, but that's off the table, so to speak. And so, what are things that you see or know or have special affinity to you? Write it on the sheet, and that's, Jerry, don't have to turn it in today, but you would like them, before we figure out how we're going to dispose of the property. I suspect in the end, whatever's left's going to go in the gym and everyone can come grab if they want it. So, and the other thing,
I would add to that as we go through spaces, we will probably put stuff out that
we've been saying, no, don't do that, because you don't know what people need. And I am guilty of, someone handed me something and said, oh, you can use that, I'll take it home. And I took it home and I went home and thought, I've been telling everybody, don't do that. Don't throw things out, don't take it home, and then I go and do it myself. That's how easy it is. Because you don't know. The example I used last time was old sheet music, stacks of it. Someone may want it for an art project. There may be some fabric or an old robe that's sitting molding in there, and you're like, who would want that? And then I find out somebody does.
And that's what I'm saying, it will go out in your statement in March, when we're done with that room.
Okay, so,
I'm not taking it away.
oh,
I'm telling you that we're gonna have an organization process, that it won't be all
All
at
right.
the very end.
I'm just feeling guilty for having taken that piece of fabric home. Yes, Gail?
I think the bottom line is communication.
Yes.
So whether you use this form or you at least tell Brian to make sure he writes it down, use the form. Yeah, use the form. But,
Use the form.
But don't just grab and go. That's the point, right?
That's the point. Don't start taking pictures off the wall, even though those pansies are gorgeous, and I wouldn't mind having it in my hallway. Don't grab it. Karen, you have a question. I don't know if there's a mic for you. And the other thing I believe is on the sheet, I haven't had a chance to look at it closely, is how bad do you want it? If it's something that, yeah, I'll take it so it doesn't go to landfill, or if nobody else wants it, it'd be kind of cool. Or my grandmother gave it to me and she died, and I'd kind of really like to have a piece of her. So it's kind of how bad are you going to be willing to arm wrestle for it? Or you're like, yeah, go ahead, I don't need 86 pounds of sheet music, I'll take half of it.
Well, I'm just curious, since we only have a microwave to put on, would the gas stove or the things in the kitchen still be available to people like me that would like to?
Well, there's two things with that. No, those usually go with the building, and they are included in that. But if there's any question, go ahead and write it down. We can always tell you no. But you don't want to come back later like I did with my grandmother. She gave away some beautiful ruby glass and said, well, I didn't know anybody wanted it. But if if I had said I wanted it, she says, no, my neighbor really prefers it, or it's going with the house, then that's part of the communication. So even if you think it's not available, go ahead and write it down, but be aware that's not a guarantee you're gonna get it. It's part of the discussion on how to dispose of it.
I will make my comment after Caleb reports to you.
Okay.
There's one abstention, and the rest of the votes were yes.
One abstain, 33 yes. Okay. The motion passes.
Therefore, since we approved this resolution, we will be, as Steve mentioned, signing this agreement and forwarding on to Mano Amano's representatives later this week. Once that is done, the 90-day due diligence process starts for them. We can expect between now and at least late November for us to be busy around the building, cataloging things, giving them some maintenance records, doing a title report, etc. That will all happen between now and November. Also, our council will talk about this green form, and we're going to meet again as a congregation, as Lorraine said, probably maybe September or early October. We haven't set a date for that yet. Please turn these green forms into the office as soon as you can in the next 30 days, so we have something to work with while we start cleaning out rooms. Thank you.
We have someone using our sanctuary in short order. So unless there's something really pressing, I'm going to ask Pastor to adjourn us with prayer.
Let's pray. Gracious God, thank you that we were able to talk and listen to one another. An enormous decision has been made, and we just want to pause for a few seconds and remember some of the things that have occurred in this space. It has helped us to do wonderful ministry, and we are grateful for that. So Lord, we've made this decision, it is going forward, and we ask you to bless it, that this building can continue to be used for your grace, glory, and mercy. Now send us from this place with your love. Amen.
Are we adjourned?
Yes, we're adjourned.